Hello Internet, welcome to Anar Theory. We're at tier 3 now. This is the boy we like to scroll on the wiki. Alabasta Dressrosa comparisons.
Hola. Me has atrapado. En medio, suavemente.
There's a saying somewhere about writing what you know, a philosophical term rather than a literal one. And if I had a nickel where a mangaka wrote an arc that shares too many similar story beats to a previous arc, I had 2 nickels. Insert joke here. Bleach was one of those anime that repeated themselves with Hueco Mundo that shares many story beats with Soul Society. And in this Iceberg case, Dressrosa shared many story beats with Alabasta. There are too many comparisons, so I'll just put a list right here so you can see all of them. Almost all of these comparisons are very on the nose, and in case of Dressrosa, their version are given a power-up of sorts. But with all these comparisons, the point of all these similarities are made to simply expand on the future and or contrast with the old. And even then, these 2 arcs are not the only ones that share many similarities, and there are too many to count. Even in the most recent chapters, it's very obvious. It's the art of juxtaposition in these arcs that are there to show growth for both Oda as a writer and the progression of our heroes. I used to write what you know to make fun of how mangakas take that quote quite literally, but I think Oda is actually using that saying to his greatest of talent. One Piece may be long from time to time, but I think in this case, the strength of its length is used for better. Romance Dawn Version 1. The prototype of One Piece, simply called Romance Dawn, is a tale that not many people remember. It tells the tale of Luffy, a boy who ate the rubber fruit and helps a village girl named Silk fight the evil pirate Crescent Moon Galley. It's a decent story with a more grounded tone compared to the goofiness One Piece would be known for. Very few elements from the one-shot got integrated into the actual series, like Shank losing his arm and Galley becoming more of a cameo character. But one idea that never came back was the titles of Peacemain and Morganeers, both terms being named in the story to describe different versions of pirates. Peacemains describe happy-go-lucky sailors who look for adventure, and Morganeers describe evil criminals who raid towns and kill innocent people. Although these terms are never mentioned in One Piece, the concepts are more implied than anything else. This version of Romance Dawn would later get an anime adaptation in November 24th of 2008, set after Thriller Bark. So the comedy of Galley fighting Luffy and boasting about his bounty is even funnier. The sad part is that this story would not be fully adapted, so we would never get to see older Luffy with his regular-ass crew. A man can only dream. But this is close enough. EDs. Nuts. Just like with openings, animes have their abundance of ending themes. With openings being hyperactive and loud, ending themes are calm and quiet, for the most part. And One Piece follows that formula like any other show. But surprisingly, One Piece is one of the few animes I know of that had ending themes and suddenly just stopped in 2006, so that the episode could run longer, which might have been a terrible decision since that made the pacing worse. Surprisingly, after 17 years, an ending theme came back in the form of Race by Chili Beans, an upbeat song that surprisingly had great animation, which the other EDs lacked. They are not talked about on the same scale as the openings, and I get that cutting the ending was probably for budget reasons and more airtime, but seriously, for me that was a big loss, which is a shame cause they are just as, if not greater than some of the openings. Maki Otsuki sang the first 2 ending themes, being Memories and Run Run Run, and has recently made a new song, Dear Sunrise, the spiritual successor to Memories. Memories was also played during a very important moment in the series, where Goldie Roger and his crew discovered the legendary One Piece treasure, which made them all low. Those 2 songs, A to C by Double C, Dream Ship by Aiko Ikuda, Adventure World by what the fuck is that name? And the latest ones are actual bangers, and all of them are my favorites. In fact, I think they're much better than Shut the fuck up, phone. I think they're much better than Crazy Rainbow, Hard Knock Days, and yes, we got superpower. Author notes. Author notes are those little messages that are written at the beginning of manga volumes from the author saying a variety of things depending on what mangaka it is. Universally, it's either a thank you for reading or get ready for a fun read with some spice thrown in. I would say Oda is one of the top 3 manga authors I know that have left an impact on their author works. From Yoshihiro Takashi getting more morbid to Tatsuki Fujimoto deranged one-liners. Oda is more of a light comedy and features more detailed oil paint drawings. However, I should probably mention his most controversial one in volume 89. When everyone eats outside, there's always a bowl of fried chicken left. Let's give them a name. Sergeant Soichi. Just something like, only Sergeant Soichi's left. For those who don't understand who he is, just search it. I'm sorry. Volume 89 begins. If you couldn't tell, the joke regarding Soichi Yokoi was one of the last holdout soldier of the Imperial Army during World War II was not looked upon fondly by many, even this who removed it from their volume prints. I am not qualified to discuss Japanese politics. I'm too busy focusing on mine. We are one. One Piece 100 We Are One was a project held to commemorate the manga for reaching 100 volumes. The celebration included a bunch of products, a quiz game, a special voiceover for the monster one-shot, and one of these projects was a series of Asian drama shorts called We Are One, directed by Mika Minagawa with the collaboration of the J-pop band Rad Wimps, which they debuted their song Twilight. It tells the story about regular people and their life struggles, like working with others, getting into a new school, achieving your dreams, ballet, and all these problems are reflected with them reading One Piece and scenes from the stories juxtaposed with their struggles. One of my favorites is the girl who wants to be a chef but her boyfriend is not supporting many of her decisions, until she reads One Piece and gets inspired by many female characters. And Yamato. By the way, this was Yamato's first animated appearance before our good wolf boy would appear in the actual anime. Also, Mayumi Tanaka makes a cameo as a teacher. It's really cute. Animated movie shorts. The art of theatrical shorts. When I was young, I used to love the Pixar shorts like the old man playing chess and the lamp from the logo playing with a ball. But did you know that One Piece also used to make shorts before their actual movies? And almost all the shorts are better than the actual movies they are coupled with. The first one we got was Django Dance Carnival, bundled with second One Piece movie Clockwork Island Adventure, a mid-movie with a girl who ate the Pepto-Bismol fruit. Dance Carnival is a loose adaptation of Django Dance Paradise that devolves into a Folder 5 music video. And for some reason, Kazuki Yao did not voice Django, but instead was substituted with Wataru Takaki of Great Teacher Onizuka fame. Second one was Dream Soccer King, short bundled with the third One Piece movie Chopper's Kingdom on the Island of Strange Animals, a pretty shitty Jungle Emperor Leo knockoff. The Stride play football or soccer if you're American out there. And by playing, I mean they're only doing penalty shootouts, so we actually don't get to see the whole game, which if we did, it would be an hour and a half long game. The short features Odachi, who is just the author Eiichiro Oda's self-insert, who has a football theme, but sucks at it. I love him so much. The third one was Take Aim, the Pirate Baseball King, the short bundled with the fifth One Piece movie, The Cursed Holy Sword, a terrible movie where Zoro fights his childhood friend Saga, the Virgil we have at home. Baseball is not a sport played or sometimes even known about in Iceland, but god damn it, watching cartoon characters play the sport is always funny. This entire short has both Buggy and Bunkley dubbing over everything, and it's just as hilarious as you think it is. Now, there is another short, but I'm gonna talk about that one in its own segment because of reasons. Censorship. When it comes to censoring, the first thing you would think is 4Kids. However, Toei is also known for censoring the anime from the manga. There are too many to count that evolve around animal cruelty and the iconic hand gesture. One of the most infamous censorship is Seth's leg, for how controversial it is. In the manga, Zeff gave Sanji all the food when they were stuck on a cliff and sacrificed his leg by eating it. The anime, however, decided to do the more lamer cliche of getting caught in a chain from the sinking ship, leading to the sacrifice aspect feeling very tame and not as iconic. Now, censorship can also be scenes from the manga that were not in the anime for a variety of reasons instead of slightly changing it. There's this funny one where Nami threatens to jab Luffy in the eye with a needle, and the short flashback that shows why Sanji started smoking. Do you think the scene should have been removed from the anime to make sure kids wouldn't start smoking because Sanji said, "I'm an adult now"? A clever foreshadowing regarding his past with his father, and felt like this would have helped him cope with the trauma of abuse? I don't know. Also, I'm not talking about regional censorships, there are too many to count. Kaizoku Fansub. Back in the olden days, anime was not as mainstream and accessible as it is today. A lot of the most famous franchises today didn't all have proper official releases with accurate subtitles, unless you watched it dubbed. But nobody likes dubs.
Will you guys suck me off until I come all...
So to make up for it, some people took upon themselves to make their own subtitles with varying degrees of being faithful to the source material. Unlike manga translations, anime were easier to do because, personally speaking, the language is much easier than reading a language that has 3 different alphabets. Look up the Jojo Duang meme for some context. For One Piece, they had the Kaizoku Fansub that still is looked upon as one of the best ones to date, mostly known for having the artistic liberty of giving every attack their own fonts and animation. But now we live in the streaming era, where all the animes you can think of are more accessible and the subtitles are more coherent. Support the official release and all that, unless it's region locked, so just pirate it. Tokyo Tower. Have you ever seen this tower in Japan that looks like the Eiffel Tower from France? Well, this is the Tokyo Tower, a 300-meter tall tower stationed in Minato that was built in 1958 to symbolize Japan's rebirth after World War II. Yours truly and some friends went to Japan in October of 2023, and one of our stops was this particular tower. The Tokyo One Piece Tower theme park was opened in 2015 and featured many attractions, shops, restaurants, and live shows, including the Tongari Island that includes this mustache snail. Sadly though, we could not visit the One Piece theme park that was closed in 2021 due to, you know. And speaking of, you know, oh my god, that was a terrible transition. Virus PSAs. I do not need to explain what this is, nor do I feel comfortable talking about it. On the brighter side, I guess, we got the public service announcements. Bunch of animated sketches that included Family Guy, Despicable Me, Legos, and One Piece, with the 9 straw hats telling us about the virus and what to do. For some reason, Zoro, Nami, Usopp, and Sanji are all wearing their white suits from film Gold. Luffy and Robin are wearing their Wano outfits, but Chopper, Frankie, and Brook are just in their basic post-time skip outfits. If you look at them in a vacuum, these PSA are weird as fuck. But let's be honest, PSAs, no matter how good the intent is, are always weird as fuck. So I appreciate the intent as much as the end results. Non-peace. The world of a Brit series is almost a dead art form at this point. Lil Kuribo is still making Yu-Gi-Oh! Brit, and Team 4-Star came back to make the Boo Saga, kinda, but overall anything else has become a lost media and or have retired from their bridging ways. Few of my favorites were Pokemon Brits by One Kids Entertainment.
Guess what I got you for your birthday? It's my birthday? Abandonment!
And Sergeant Frog by the Midnight Frogs.
Oh my god, what is that thing?
Evil digestive monster! Frank.
The topic of this iceberg is one of the most known abridged series based on One Piece, Non-Peace. It's not the only one, and overall none of them are that interesting of a topic. Non-Peace, made by Ryan Nix, or Purple Ice WTF, is a batshit insane parody version of One Piece with some liberties taken. Luffy has the voice of Sean Connery.
My father was a chest tube when my mother was a rubber bat!
Usopp is British.
I'll tickle your butts while you're asleep.
And many other questionable choices that eventually come down to make no sense but to leave a lasting impression. Lil Kuribo played Shanks in episode 3, which made the series skyrocket in popularity.
I am an alcoholic millionaire playboy who is on the brink of an arranged marriage to a wealthy single woman.
And rewatching the episode proved for a while that it has not aged well. Most of the time it's just loud noises and just random equals funny logic. The weirdest episodes are the Syrup Village ones that got retold twice. First time it was a crossover between Ryan's other series, Code Ment and Soul Whatever. But that was non-canon, but is canon in Soul Whatever Third Earth, and Purple Eyes decided to remake the Syrup Island arc in 3 episodes, which is also canon to Third Earth, if that makes sense. Based on how infrequent the upload schedule of a bridging series was back in the day, this felt longer than watching the actual show and may have led the series to its downfall. And then I rewatched the last episode Purple Eyes made, episode 9, that was unironically the funniest one. Episode 9 retells the Bharati arc, featuring Dracul Mihawk dubbed as Jesus.
We meet again, only this time for the first time.
Seth as Saint Crinkle, and his evil brother Don Creek as Don Crinkle of the West Pole. And my personal favorite, that I would argue is a glow up compared to its real counterpart, Pearl as Anthony, who is flame retardant.
My name's Anthony, and porn should be illegal.
The episode was unsurprisingly removed from YouTube because it featured a JPEG of fecal matter, and Ryan Nix decided to stop making any more episodes due to loss of interest, the changes in internet entertainment, and so on. We may all look back with various feelings, cause it feels like a British series have aged terribly, but they are a big part of our childhood entertainment on the internet.
Alright, I broke your spine, we're friends now.
Numbees had some weird jokes, but other times they were hilarious, as did other series that I personally liked more than others.
Don't worry, I'll take care of this. Leave it to me.
Fischers. The Fischers is a YouTube comedy channel belonging to the Network channel that consists of 6 boys doing comedy stuff that I'm too old to understand. And like every other piece of media on this iceberg, it also had a few collaborations with One Piece. One where they would do a cameo with One Piece Stampede as the Fisher Pirates. You could say that this is the most blatant advertising in this movie. Then again, Stampede also includes Captain 7, who is just a 7-Eleven advertisement. The other one is their manga spin-off, Fisher Cross One Piece, where the YouTubers get isekai to the One Piece world, with a lot of strange things occurring, like their logo becoming sentient, and the antagonist being a silhouetted character out of the likes of Emu, who is responsible for transporting them to the supposed One Piece world, cause this One Piece world may not even be real. I mean, I know the One Piece world is fictional, but I mean in the context of the spin-offs. I don't need to spoon feed you all this nonsense. Chiaki Inaba. In 2001, Oda met a woman who played Nami for a live-action One Piece musical for the 2002 Jump Festa. That woman was named Chiaki Inaba, a former actress and a model who started dating Oda for 2 years until they got married in 2004 and have been together ever since. Also, she gave birth to 2 daughters in 2006 and 2009. The only sad part about this wholesome story is that Oda is mostly busy working on his manga that he has started living where he works, only getting visits and or visiting his family once a week. He even promised on many occasions that he wanted to take his wife on a vacation around the world once the series ends in 5 years, but with how long the manga has been going on, that promise has been put on hold. I just hope he can spend more time with his wife and daughters. That guy deserves it.
What's up everybody, it's Critical. I'm playing Don't Shit Your Pants. Let's do this shit.
Charles Christopher White Jr., that really this dude's name, also known as Penguins Zero, Critical, and Moist Kerwunticle, is a YouTuber who has been on this website since 2007 that started off with gaming videos. Later on known for his gameplay and commentary series, started a podcast in 2016, and nowadays is mostly known for making videos about the worst YouTubers. Regardless of what you think of him in general, he has made quite the impact, and one of the funniest things that ever happened to him is when he got into One Piece. And no, I'm not talking about the time he had an opinion and someone made a video debunking his opinion, but the hilariously bad ad campaign for the Chinese mobile game One Piece Burning Will that put Charlie in it to promote the game, but without his consent and just dubbed him over with a voice that sounds very unconvincing. But don't forget, He does like all the characters. Obviously, Charlie made 2 videos regarding this dumb commercial, and now he regards himself as a big One Piece fan. Sub to my YouTube channel, it's called Vivian Flam, if you're cool.
Chapter 0 and Shiki. Chapter 0 was a special prologue chapter for the 10th One Piece movie Strong World that told the backstory of Golden Lion Shiki from his downfall to his master plan for the said movie. Taking place 20 years before the start of the series and featuring many cameos, the biggest one being Goldie Roger, who gets one of his first major roles, with him defeating Shiki and his death having major effect on Shiki. Also, Shiki has the privilege of being one of the 2 movie antagonists that are canon, because Chapter 0 is not just a special bundle comic that came with the movie and also got an animated adaptation, but it's a canon event. Shiki rarely gets mentioned in universe, but nowadays gets talked about a lot in fan discussion, for we just recently learned that he was part of the Rocks Pirates, the most talked about and hyped pirate crew in this series that we know a whole lot about and nothing at all at the same time. Could you believe that there was a time when we looked at Shiki and didn't put him on the same pedestal as Whitebeard, Kaido, and Big Mom? He was just some guy, and now is one of, if not most interesting lurking legends of fan discussions. Also in chapter 631, it is theorized that Shiki is drinking with Crocus and Lapoon during the From the Decks of the World cover story. For what it's worth, I like that theory. It's not over the top as many other theories, like theories about other potential candidates for who this unknown individual is. Yorkie, Gin, or Scopper Gaban. Speaking of the Scopper Gaban. Believe it or not, there are too many One Piece characters, especially with how many tertiary characters get to have names, like this guy, that gal, or those bros. What is this, Star Wars? And then there is Scopper Gaban, a guy who should be more important, but really isn't. Scopper Gaban is a double axe-wielding member of the Roger crew, led by the Pirate King, if you didn't know, and he has gained a cult following of sorts. You can tell by his name of Scopper that he follows an obvious pattern with his captain Goldie Roger and the first mate of the crew, Silvers Rayleigh. And from what we have seen from both Roger and Rayleigh in terms of power, it's speculated that he's the 3rd strongest member of the crew. The Sanji of the crew, if you will. Or Jimpy if you really want to take part in the recent Sanji slander, you loser. And to be honest, that could be the case if you follow the naming scheme. Then again, we already have Shanks, Ino Arashi, Neko Mamushi, and especially Kosugi Oden, who all have proven to be powerhouses. Heck, we may have not seen Crocus do any crazy feats like the others, but also can be speculated to be just as strong if not stronger. Douglas Bullet, as non-canon and disappointing he can be, is also worth the speculation, and Bucky may be the black sheep of the crew until Douglas Bullet showed up. He and Crocus have something over Scopper Gaban. They are relevant, and we have seen them in modern days. Unless... Yes, there's a theory that in chapter 550, where we see many civilians talk about Ace's execution and the thought of Whitebeard's retaliating, an old man in East Blue who lives in a farm with sheep, who is bald, with tattoos on his head, and has circular glasses, is believed to be Scopper Gaban. And the fact that he's living in the East Blue also parallels with Roger and Rayleigh, since they also came from the East Blue. We don't know if he was born there, but the thought still counts. What the fuck? Honestly, we are now in the final saga, and I don't think the Scop is gonna be relevant anytime soon. If I'm wrong, I'll make a Nickelodeon video. Doriki. Now we're at my least favorite aspect of One Piece discussions, power scaling. You have no idea how many times I hear the made up terms of Yonko level or Admiral level. Like, all these words mean nothing to me. But did you know that there is a canon power level scale that was only used once and nobody has used it when discussing who's the strongest guy or gal? The power scaling in question is Doriki, a technique that was used once by Fukuro to measure his fellow CB9 members to see how physically strong they are, and they do this by juggling him like a volleyball. It should be noted that devil fruit powers are not taken into account. tweet telling us the obvious statement that Rob Lucci is the strongest and jokingly stating that Spandam is weaker than a common marine soldier. We don't know if measuring Doriki is a thing that any member of any cyberpol agency can do, or if it's just a thing only Fukuro can do. The only way to measure Doriki is being attacked by the person you are measuring, and if this concept was still being used, that would be hilarious. Like, can you imagine those dumbass HSCP-0 guys just letting people attack them during Wano, and they just say random numbers to them and will counterattack if the number is low? But based on how Dragon Ball invented power levels to show the arrogance and incompetence of the villains, it would come back to bite them in the ass. But with how fans take power levels as serious as the Frieza soldiers, I guess we can't have any fun around here. Wait a minute, did Dragon Ball even invent power level, or was it Kiniko Man? Sup and guest Seiyu. I love all the Straw Hats, and I especially love all the Seiyus who voice them. Seiyu is Japanese for voice actors if you didn't know. Mayumi Tanaka, Kazuya Nakai, Akemi Okamura, Kabe Yamaguchi, Hiroaki Hirata, Ikue Otani, Yuriko Yamaguchi, Kazuki Yao, Cho, and Katsuhisa Hoki are all perfect. Misa Watanabe as Vivi is good too, but since he does not appear as much as the rest of the crew, I can't say much. But did you know that 3 of the Straw Hats actually had substitutes for a handful of episodes, starting with Nami, who was voiced by Wakana Yamasaki during the entirety of Lil Garden. Wakana in One Piece is mostly known for playing her sister Nochiko. Chopper's substitute voice actress was Kasue Ikura, who plays Sentomaru and voiced Tony-kun during the latter half of Water 7 and the 7th One Piece Woomy, the one with the boobs. And we actually know the reason for Akame's and Ikune's absence, since they had to take a maternity leave. Maternity, am I saying that word wrong? I don't care. And finally, there's Robin's voice, Yuko Kobayashi, who has not played any important One Piece character, unless you count Queen. Not that Queen, this Queen. If you don't care, then let's just say Washu from Tenchi Muyo. Funnily enough, Yuko played Robin during the latter half of Enies Lobby and few post-Enies Lobby fillers, which means when Yuriko had to take a break for reasons, she gave one of the greatest performances in the entirety of One Piece, saying the iconic "I want to live" line, and just dipped out. Also, Sara Nakayama subbed for Vivi in Grand Battle Rush, but that's a video game. Sara played Porsche. Do you like Porsche? I'm sure these ladies did a fine job subbing for the main cast, but I have become so attached to the voice cast that I've started to develop apopenia. Now, I'm sure there are 3 other Straw Hats I have not talked about in terms of multiple voice actors, but I don't count the original OVA that came before the Toei anime, and 1 Straw Hat who has had 2 voice actors, but I'm gonna make that its own segment. You'll see why if I ever finish this Iceberg. Hungry Days. Being the powerhouse franchise it is, there should not be any surprise that One Piece has made many sponsored commercials. We got basic stuff like McDonald's, KFC, Indeed. But the Hungry Days cup noodle commercials are the most high quality commercials you can ever think of. These commercials center around the cast of One Piece set in high school, living their everyday life, and Luffy solving problems with Hungry Days cup noodle. The animation of these were made by Studio Shaft, who are known for the Monogatari series and Madoka Magica, with every frame including the most minor details that only hardcore One Piece fans can spot within microseconds. The first one depicts Zoro's struggle after losing to Mihawk in a kendo duel, Nami working part-time in Arlong's restaurant, Vivi transferring to another school, and the Calvert and the Kipa-sen one. There was also the Bump of Chicken music video that showed more concept art of the characters. Check these out if you haven't. We got baby human boy Chopper.
That's the cutest fucking thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Boichi. Mugiwara Park, better known as Boichi, is a Korean manga artist who used to make manhwa, which is just Korean manga read from up to down since it's made to read on mobile devices, and all manhwas I've read are porn. Surprisingly, Boichi also draws porn, but most importantly made his magnum opus with Sunken Rock, and did the art for Dr. Stone by Richiro Inagaki. In July 22nd, 2019, Boichi redrew chapter 51 and 52 for One Piece 22nd anniversary as a one-shot retitled Roronoa Falls into the Sea, and did the same thing during April 5th, 2022 for chapter 410, 411, and 412 retitled Nami and Khalifa. Both of these one-shots were packaged together with the other One Piece project Boichi made in between, One Piece Episode A, a short 4-chapter manga that was loosely based on a One Piece novel that told the story of Ace forming his crew and going on many adventures before he would encounter Whitebeard. Episode A starts off with Ace meeting his first mate, Masked Douche, and the rest of the story goes on to show how Ace came to respect Whitebeard. It's a really good read, and honestly, supplementary material is the only form of One Piece media that gives Ace more of a spotlight than the manga ever did. The only complaint I have is that this manga does not include Izuka, the Tachiki-like rival to Ace. And seeing how Boichi draws women, oh Jesus Christ. Oh fuck. Mugiwara Theatre. The Mugiwara Theatre, or Straw Hat Theatre in English, was a series of gag stories that ran from 2005 to 2012 that told weird alternative stories with the main cast playing different characters in different settings. Out of 13 of them, only 5 were animated, and out of those 5, Chopperman was the most popular one that got a whole episode and a spin-off manga. And like with the episode of series, I'm gonna go through them all. Reports time. The tamest of them all, the super deformed version of the Straw Hats getting interviewed by Tsubaki, the worst reporter in the world. Opahan time. The Straw Hats are old ladies, with Nami being the strongest one. The voice actor claimed this was the most embarrassing thing they ever did. No honor time. Now they're all mafia and everyone dies except Luffyone, who is all alone now. It's both funny and sad at the same time, and it was all a dream. Chopperman. Frankly, the short manga is more of a introduction piece for the extended Chopperman universe, and the whole one-up episode was much more fun. Monster time. They are monsters now, with Rodusa as the lead, and surprisingly, all these monster choices fit, like Luffy being a dragon that foreshadows his relationship with his father, who is called Dragon. Apart from being the last one that was animated, I like that it was shown around the same time we got the I want to live moment in the anime, juxtaposed with Rodusa's tearful scene. Here on out, everything is manga only, and some of them are really weird. Space time. Setting is space. Luffy is an Ultraman spoof called Mugiwara Man. Fun fact, the giant robot Frankashan was later integrated into the Chopperman universe, so that's pretty neat. Red Hair of Class 3. Sea time. The very first time One Piece was set in high school, and compared to One Piece school, this one is much better in my opinion. All the Straw Hats are delinquents, Shank is their unorthodox teacher, and I think Oda is a big fan of Gokusen. Marching time. It's a fairy tale setting, and it starts off with fitting roles. Then all of a sudden, Zoro, Usopp, and Sanji show up in dresses cause they look good in dresses, and Robin is the handsome prince. Family time. If you're a fan of the SBS, you would know about how Oda would portray the Straw Hat as a family. Well, you can take that answer and throw it in the fucking garbage, cause here's family time. Usopp is the mother, Chopper is a cat, Nami marries Bunkley, and Buggyama is their neighbor. Ed Sullivan Show. What if the Straw Hats were in Edo, Japan? Wait, the weirdest thing is not the roles each character plays or Robin's nose, but the name. It's both a pun on the word Ed that sounds like Edo when said in Japanese, and the American variety show Ed Sullivan Show for some reason. Great Detective looms. Luffy is Sherlock Holmes, Usopp is Dr. Watson, Brook is dead, and the rest are vicious killers like Frack the Ripper, Golgo Sanjin, Nami Ron Stone. This is probably the closest thing we got mascot for evil Straw Hats. Circus time! We now have a circus setting. Luffy wants to become the Circus King by jumping through the one loop. Chopper is a clown. RPG time, the last one, and the one I actually want a spin-off manga of. The setting is literally Dragon Quest. Sanji's a slime, Frank is a golem, and the heroes are wearing the Dragon Quest 3 outfits. I want these to come back, and I want to see what Jinbei would look like in these. Give me old lady Jinbei! High School Spinoffs. I once told everyone and myself that One Piece is the only anime that doesn't have a high school setting and or AU high school setting. Now is the 2020s and we have a gag omake, high budget noodle commercial, and 3 separate spin-off mangas. Let's talk about them from least weird to the most weird. The least weirdest is One Piece School by Sohei Koji, the cast of One Piece in high school, with Kobe as the point of view protagonist, Aokichi is the head teacher who rides a tricycle wherever he goes, and Law adopts a dog made for the manga called Onigiri. It's the most by-the-book high school AU you can think of. The second one is Kobiyama, who looks like Kobe, 2 Piece in a Pod by Nakamaru. The joke is everyone looks like a One Piece character. The main character is Kobiyama. He looks like Kobe at the beginning of the series with black hair. There's a girl who falls in love with him, but only for the idea that he will one day become the older version. If you think the joke of, hey, he looks like One Piece character, maybe you will like this. Then my favorite one of them all, One Piece in Love by Daiki Ihara. So we had actual One Piece characters in high school, lookalikes in high school. Now it's just normal high schoolers who just share One Piece names. It's a trio of characters who make a club revolving around them having One Piece names. The main character is Yamamoto Luffy, he's the normal boy. Koyama Nami, she's a girl who's in love with Luffy. Luffy Nami shipper, this is the closest thing you're gonna get. Then we got the best character in the manga, Nakatsugawa Usopp. This square-faced psychopath who in the first chapter burns the school. This manga is basically written with me as its reader in mind. They put so many random no one knows what this is references in this manga. Basically, whoever made this manga could have made this Iceberg. Thank you. The comedy is unhinged that I love so much, and even with all the One Piece references, there's a genuine good romantic comedy manga in there. A genre of manga that I love and hate at the same time. Vivre Card. Visual Dictionary. There have been numerous data books for One Piece, but in 2018, Shueisha published the Vivre Card Visual Dictionary, a huge bundle that would have a monthly release for 3 years, dedicated to having info boxes for almost every character in the series up to date. Finally, we would have an encyclopedia for every character's height, origin of birth, and favorite food. But if you were to say that this is 100% accurate source, it must be said that there is a big asterisk over that statement. Some people don't know this, and even I fell into this trap too, but usually data books are not written by the author of the series. Despite the helpful intention, there are numerous errors and incorrect statements that can be found within this book and in other data books. One of the most controversial statements in the Vivre Card declared that Yamato's gender is female. Just another fuel into that fire. Also, I, like many others, discovered this particular data book from Arthur's Library of Ohara. Again, thank you, Arthur, and if you are watching this, why?
Don't watch it, please. Don't watch it.
Unlimited series.
I'm a girl.
This refers to the trilogy of video games that share the title of Unlimited. Unlimited Avenger in 2007 for the Wii, Unlimited Cruise in 2009 for the Wii and Nintendo 3DS, and lastly the multi-platformer Unlimited World Red in 2013. All of these games are action adventures where you can play all the Straw Hats, and in every game, one of the main characters is a cute animal mascot. There's Popola for adventure, a rabbit homunculus, Gabori from Cruise, a strange demon angel chow thing, and Pato from World Red, a pen that ate the monster raccoon dog devil fruit. And for some reason, he at least makes the most sense out of all of these little guys. Avenger Crews are the only games in the trilogy where it feels like these two are the same game since they are both on the Wii. Both games all have the Straw Hats wearing ugly game-only outfits that I can't for the life of me decipher, and both antagonists are these golem-like creatures that both have second forms. World Red does not have game-only outfits, instead they all wear their post-time skip outfits that every game after this one can get enough of, and no golem creature as the final boss, but a vampire!
Don't come to my house or else I'll suck your dick!
And that was tier 3. Tier 4 comes when I feel like it. I'm not doing the that's all folks this time cause the pig is dead.